Okay, so I may or may not have gone completely off the Hazbin Hotel brainrot deep end, and I figured I might as well drag all of you down here with me. A lot of people were asking for this video, so be careful what you wish for, I guess? If you are wondering why 3 songs are missing from this list, it's because I covered them in a previous video, as well as giving my overall thoughts on the show. You can click here to watch it. Without much further intro, because this video is already going to be long enough as it is, here's my thoughts on every song in Hazbin Hotel, why most of them work, and why a few don't. Starting with... A musical opening is an important thing, and you have to decide what kind of opening do you want. Do you want something that introduces the main character or main characters, the main themes, what the tone of the show is gonna be, the location the musical takes place in, sets up the main character's story arc? While a lot of musical openings choose to do one of the above and do it well, some of the best usually combine a combination of all of them. In doing so, they become the most iconic parts of their shows. While Happy Day in Hell doesn't quite reach that level, it's a valiant attempt, setting up Charlie both as a character in terms of where she's at, but also the growth arc that she's going to be going through during the coming season. She's a bright-eyed optimist in spite of everyone around her telling her that it cannot be done. It shows us the sweeping vistas of hell, giving us more context as to where everything is going to be happening. It also makes the smart decision of being a complex song, with several key changes, weaving in people talking during the singing for comedic effect, and even sneaking in a small reprise at the end of the song. It's just a joy of a song, and really, that's all I gotta say about it. It's a good setup, it doesn't quite reach iconic status, but that's okay. Now an example of a song that absolutely did hit iconic status.
That fucker is back!
Okay, who doesn't love a good villain song? But what's even better than a good villain song? A good villain duet, where the two of them are battling it over in competing song styles, matching each other blow for blow. Stayed Gone is what happens when you let a writer's room run wild and have fun with a song. People have absolutely picked this song apart, and I'm no better, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing. The song starts out with this lovely classic villain song setup, which builds and explodes into this full information overload as Vox bombards you with as much information as possible to overwhelm you into agreeing with him, which is very similar to how actual sensational journalism works. What I find interesting about this whole segment is that the music is electro swing, despite Vox not singing in cadence with it. It's almost like he's adapted Alistair's format without understanding why it works, and that works for Vox's character so well. Then when Alistair joins in on the fun, he hits the swing timing perfectly, and it makes Vox sound like he's constantly floundering his way through the song up until that point. Finally ending the song with Alistair taking on Vox's style from the beginning of the song, and a power move just to make it clear that he can beat him in both styles. It's so well done. Also, can we just appreciate some of this wordplay?
Now his medium is getting bloody rare.
Stayed Gone has quickly become a fan favorite song for a good reason. It's fun, catchy, and full of little details both visually and musically, and it is a joy to watch and rewatch over and over and over again.
It starts with sorry.
Now, here is my second biggest hot take of Hazbin Hotel. It Starts With Sorry is the most underrated song of season 1. It is a pure, honest joke song. What if the raspy joke villain had to sing a goofy sunshine and rainbow song about forgiveness, and you don't really know what Serpentius's singing voice is going to be until you hear it, and it just sounds the exact same, and it's pure comedy gold. That's short, sweet, and to the point. It builds Serpentius into an amazing character that you root for because of how precious he is, and it shows that Charlie's optimism can actually work in severely rare circumstances. And I mean, How can you not love Serpentious blinking in time with the music? Is it the most complicated, lyrically intricate song that changes 4 keys and takes you on a ride? No. Does it have Alex Brightman singing in a way that perfectly scratches my brain? Yes. And I think that's what is truly important here.
You've got it twisted.
Back to villain songs, baby! And yes, technically Velvet was introduced before this song, but this is how you introduce another villain into your story. You put them into a room full of the other villains and have them upshow them and throw the delicate power balance completely out the window. This is one of the few times where I didn't mind internet lyrics in a song. Normally this type of lyric just doesn't work, but considering that Velvet is the manifestation of social media, it makes sense. She's brash, impulsive, acts without thinking or filter, and is extremely confrontational for no reason, which is at direct odds with the old guard of hell like Zestial. And the counterplay between Zestial's calmness mixed with Velvet plowing ahead just makes the song so damn catchy. And it doesn't hurt that Velvet's little has been stuck in my brain ever since I first heard the song. I love how the song starts with Spanish guitars while Camilla kicks off the song, but then explodes into full pop when Velvet takes the reins, and then the guitars fight back when Camilla punches back. It's a great musical way of showing how at odds the two are with each other. Great song, shows how delicate the power balance in hell is, pushes the plot forward while giving more depth to characters that haven't had a chance to really be introduced or have had time in the spotlight yet. My third hottest Hazbin Hotel take. Whatever it takes does not work. At all. The song just can't decide what it wants to be. Does it want to be a power ballad that Camilla belts out about wanting to protect the denizens of hell and avoid war at all costs? Does it want to be a soft setup that leads Vaggie to have a more interesting character arc by giving her conflicting feelings towards protecting Charlie and allude to a terrible secret that she's hiding? Or does it just try to mash everything together into an amalgamation that doesn't really know what it's trying to accomplish and achieves nothing while taking both of your singers outside of their comfortable ranges and forces them to sing in styles that don't suit either of their voices in turn? Yeah. This really should have been either 2 different songs or maybe 1 song and a dialogue scene. As it stands, it's the weakest song of season 1 because it doesn't have a strong identity in what it's trying to do. It doesn't propel the story forward in any meaningful way, and it overstays its welcome. I mean, at least we got more of James Monroe Englehart. Not enough, though.
Give me a thrust.
That's better.
Fucked up little whiny bitch. You're a loser just like me.
Thanks, asshole.
On the other hand of the spectrum, we have Loser Baby. Coming hot off the heels of the most intense song and section of the show, Loser Baby is the much needed comedic break that brings us back to the fact that we are indeed watching a comedy show. This song is just expectation subversion the song. We expect Husk to comfort Angel, to tell him that everything will be okay, that in spite of his troubles, he has a good heart. And instead we get,
How about him at rock bottom?
which is a line that I never knew I needed to hear Keith David sing until this moment, but here we are. Husk doesn't talk down to Angel, doesn't try to fix him or give him any advice beyond, hey, you fucked up. So does everyone. And that's okay. Own it and be yourself in spite of your flaws. Which honestly is kind of a healthier message than what Hollywood gives us most of the time. I digress. One thing of note visually that I love that they did here is Angel is never forced into anything. Husk dances around him, holds out his hand, but never initiates anything. He waits for Angel to make the choice for himself, which is the first time a character has actually done that for him. Charlie forces Angel to try to change and participate in activities, and Val forces him to work because of his contract, and spends an entire song throwing him around and abusing him. This whole visual metaphor is capped off by Angel being the one to hold out his hand at the end of the song to Husk, almost as an acknowledgement and thank you to him. Husk is the first character not to ask Angel to change, but to simply accept himself for where he is at, which again is incredibly healthy and the first step towards actual growth. Just some great storytelling here and a catchy song with some bits that have scratched the right parts of my brain.
Coked up dick sucking hoe?
Look, don't question it. I know some people have gotten tired of the whole people in a musical being aware of other people singing and finding it weird, but I don't know, it still makes me laugh and it's a great way to end the song.
All right then.
Oh, Jeremy Jordan. Where do I begin? Seriously, the amount of raw Broadway talent in this show is staggering. But at times, it feels like Jeremy is just showing off. For example, Hell's Greatest Dad is one of the hardest songs to sing in this show, and you would never know it, because he just does one of the longest breath run-ons, going from high to low to growl, back to high, back to low, like it's no big deal. And then we get to have Lucifer and Alistair exchanging blows in the most bizarre "your daughter also calls me daddy" situation I've seen in a while. And while they are singing the same song, they are singing it in very different styles. Lucifer is singing in a downbeat, while throwing in little flourishes, which is typical of a showman Broadway style of singing. Alistair, on the other hand, is singing on the upbeat, which is typical of swing music, and it's staying consistent with his character. It's such a small detail, but once you notice it, you can't unhear it, and it is over the top ridiculous, which just makes the song even more amazing. There are so many crazy references in this song, like the golden fiddle from The Devil Went Down to Georgia, Razzle's foreshadowing, callbacks to the color palette of Alistair's song in the pilot, how the background color keeps changing a la Stayed Gone, except now they're constantly butting into each other's frames, forcing the background to change color back and forth, eventually having the colors smash in the middle when they're face to face. And look, I know a lot of people hate the fact that Mimsy crashes the song at the end and steals the ending, but I kind of get it. They didn't really know how to end the song without having Al and Lucifer straight up coming to blows, and having being broken up by somebody else in the group, potentially Charlie, would have set up a lot of unnecessary tension within the plot. So having something truly bizarre happen to break them up is a good tension release and a good out. Also, it's saved by Lucifer's little
Who?
not my first choice of how to end the song, but again, I get it. Now we come to my biggest hot take of Hazbin Hotel. Welcome to Heaven isn't the worst song. It's not a great song, but it's far from the worst. It's a joke song that leans heavy on the campy lyrics. It gives us another look at how judgmental the angels are and some of the hypocrisies that are going on. It gives us a good idea of the characters of Emily and Sarah, if only from a few lines of each of them. It's campy, it's goofy, it's a world building song that introduces a new location and character as well, and it doesn't commit the joke song cardinal sin of overstaying its welcome, being that it's the shortest song on the soundtrack. And I'm sorry, the exaggerated out of breath bit at the end is just so fucking perfect, and it makes the whole song even funnier for me, just thinking that they're all a bunch of showmen that think that they're better than what they actually are. Not saying that he's not a great singer, but like, you get what I'm saying. It makes the whole song so much funnier from the context of it.
But she was right, Sarah.
Okay, I have opinions about this one. Not like I haven't had opinions about all the other songs, but you know what I mean. On the one hand, this is a prime example of the show being rushed. In only 3 minutes and 8 seconds, the writers had to cover Emily questioning Sarah, Sarah explaining that there are things outside of their control, Charlie challenging the court and pointing out the hypocrisies at play, Lute and Adam interjecting and the secret of the extermination being revealed, Emily being horrified by this new revelation and empathizing with the demons which could set up her eventual fall from heaven in the future, the council beginning to argue amongst themselves, Charlie finding out that Maggie was an exterminator. There is so much going on in this song, and you hardly have time to process any of it, and then the episode just ends. The song yanks the audience around with revelation after revelation, and this is a prime example of the show trying to do too much at once. However, god damn is this a good song. I can't tell you how many times I'll just be walking around my day-to-day life and then just start singing different parts of this song. You saw the light, Sarah, and ticked on the boxes that you said would. What are we even talking about? Some crack or who fucked up already? He blew a shot, left the cocks in his mouth. This discussion is senseless and petty. From Emily, we have the naive questioning that evolves as the song goes on. Lute finally having a chance to shine, eventually killing it with an insane section that is 80s women power rock, and I love it so much. And somehow, Alex Brightman doesn't overpower anyone like he normally does, and instead plays the perfect foil to everyone else in this song. And visually, there is a lot going on here as well. Both Emily and Sarah start out by looking down on everyone until Emily descends from her place after having questions. Then she rises back through the court to challenge them at their eye level. Sarah having flames in her eyes while singing about doing what is required is horrifying, and then when Emily directly challenges her, Emily climbs above her physically and in key to morally have the high ground over her for the first time in the song. Adam and Lute visually overpowering Charlie for the second time, and I'm sure there are more visual details that I'm missing as well. This song just feels like the best example of making the best out of a bad situation, but man does it end up making something special in the process. Oh, Out for Love. I really wanted to like you. I really, really wanted to like you, but for whatever reason, I can't. It might be the awful lyrics, the random story pacing, or maybe just that it's a very simple pop song that feels kinda out of place and outclassed. Whatever the case may be, I feel like Camilla and Vaggie were just kinda thrown together for two songs because the writers didn't really know what they wanted to do with them song-wise. Like, I like the idea of Camilla pushing Vaggie to achieve her full potential, but the song just fails to fulfill its purpose in the story. It's just kind of a middle of the road song for me. It's not great, it's not bad, but ultimately it's forgettable, and I don't have much more to say on it other than that.
My destiny could never be postponed.
The other song in the episode I find really interesting for reasons you might not expect. Most of the songs in this show pay homage to various Broadway plays, and Ready for This has Music Man written all over it. We have a protagonist that needs to swindle a town full of people to win them over to their side. And yes, I do mean swindle. Ready for This, interestingly enough, follows very similarly to military enlistment propaganda. First, an appeal to some common goal or emotion, and then follow it up with distractions of sightseeing and camaraderie and ignoring the danger and threats. I find this interesting because this is the most evil thing that Charlie has done in the entire show, and it's being orchestrated by Alistair, who also has a line about being able to guide Charlie. Musically, the song isn't doing anything too crazy. It's certainly unique, having a full-on marching segment and Alistair providing backup vocals is a nice touch. Also, we get a nice callback to Charlie's first reprise as a lyrical progression of how her character has grown.
I can do this. Somehow I know it. I really hope that I'm ready for this.
Again, not my favorite song of the season, but it has some interesting things going on plot-wise, and for me, that's enough to redeem it.
More than anything, it's just a reprise. It isn't even a full song, Walrus. It doesn't mean anything. It's just okay. It's nothing special.
Shut up! You're wrong. You're gonna sit down and listen to me. This was one of the smartest decisions in this show. Finally using Veggi's voice actor to her full potential. The reprise uses the same words to convey a completely different tone and emotion from the song before it. While before it was, "Now that I have found you, you are worth more than anything," the reprise is simply, "You are enough. You have always been enough. You will always be enough." Instead of one of them providing vocal backing to the other, they both sing the harmony together to show that they are equal contributors in the relationship and they don't view the other as lesser in any way. It's just... it makes my heart melt. And now, on to the finale. We did it. We made it to the finale. And what a finale it is. This is your final opportunity as a writer to wrap up loose ends from season 1, set up plot threads to lead into season 2, and leave a lasting impression on your audience that leaves them both satisfied and wanting for more, because who knows how many years it's going to be until we get season 2. And boy, does the show must go on deliver. In a way that it's almost 5 songs in one. Charlie kicks us off by having a moment to mourn our beautiful snake boy that was taken from us so suddenly. She feels like her entire purpose for the hotel has failed, that she's failed everyone around her in the most spectacular way possible for all to see. Considering how Serpentius' death was almost played for a joke in the moment, it was nice to have a moment for both the characters and the audience to let everything that has happened sink in. And then Jeremy Jordan. Precious Jeremy. Why do you think she has a frown, you dumbass? Sorry, this just threw me through such a loop. She's literally mourning the death of her friend. Gee, I wonder why she's sad. Thankfully, Lucifer does redeem himself in the very next part by singing a reprise of Happy Day in Hell back to Charlie, and it's wonderful. Lifting her up and showing her that while she may not have achieved her original goal, she now has people believing in her. We are then treated to a fun sequence of all of the gang working together to pick up Charlie and support her using their talents to build a new hotel. It's a nice little wrap up to Charlie's arc in season 1. She may have failed, but she now has people to support her and who believe in her rather than mock her. All of them singing together is wonderful, and we see Cherry Bomb make the decision to stick around and help out building the new hotel, which I feel like is a very intentional decision to show that she will be a bigger part of the main group moving forward. Even better, we have Keith hitting an absolute banger of a note.
New lights across the marquee with a little sorcery.
No notes, just wanted to call attention to it. Enter the plot setups for season 2. Firstly, the V's. Oh my gods. The duet of Christian Borle and Joel Perez scratches my brain in places I didn't know existed, and I need more of this. Plus, it sets up the V's to be major players as antagonists in season 2. And in a blink and you'll miss it moment, we can see that despite Alistair alluding to that him and Vox were always enemies, we see a torn photo of the two of them together, which is a possible story thread that might be explored more next season. I wouldn't be surprised to see more Alistair versus Vox singing in season 2, or even Val butting in. Alistair's return is the biggest question mark of the season and has fan theorists absolutely bursting at the seams with so many theories as to what could possibly be going on here. First off, Alistair having a panic attack and trying to express any other emotion other than smiling, but being unable to because he's forced to, is truly haunting. And it adds a completely different context to what he said just an episode prior. His last line of,
"Once I figure out how to unclip my wings,"
has stuck out in my brain. It could just be a rhyme that they came up with for pulling all the strings and they wanted to stick to having turns of phrases to use with it. But in a show about angels and demons, this feels way too specific of a line to not mean anything. But considering that the theory of him being directly tied to Lilith hasn't been confirmed or denied yet, I'm curious to see where they take the character. One last reprise. Calling back to the beginning of the song, one of the best freeze frames of the entire season, and a chance for the cast to all face the same way, slowly raising their arms out from their sides, belting out one last grand note in harmony. Perfection. And there we have it. My thoughts on every song in Hazbin Hotel, -3. And again, if you want to hear my opinions on those 3 songs as well as my overall opinions on the show, you can click on the top right hand corner for the link. I know this video was all over the place at times, but I hope you enjoyed the sheer chaos of this as I shout my opinions at you for 30 minutes. Anyway, until next time. Special thank you to Brandon Roy, Zara Quishin, Gabriel Helmuth, Ian Etsep, Mafnar, and Mustafa Rond, who are all at the executive level over on Patreon. If you do want to check out the Patreon, you can click the link there. I'll have it somewhere. It's just a way that people can give to the channel beyond just watching the videos, as well as being able to see videos early and some cuts of the videos that didn't quite make it into the YouTube video itself. So if you want to check it out, there'll be a link somewhere.